Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Plantronics ACL Melbourne group stage announcement for Starcraft 2. My name's Baldie. I'm joined to my right on the stream by Kez. Introduce yourself, good sir.
That's your left on the stream, I believe. But yeah, g'day there guys, my name is Kez. I'm just a gamer and community member of C, so what's up? How are you all doing?
Yeah, we actually might be seeing a little bit more of you at ACL Melbourne, maybe doing some interviews and the like, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to announce the groups. As we all know, it's been something that's been quite anticipated for quite some time, and it's finally upon us. So what we're going to be doing, how it's going to work tonight, is we're actually going to have, similar to ACL Brisbane, we're going to have the graphics for the pools, and one at a time we'll reveal the members of each group, and then maybe have a little bit of a chat about how they've progressed into the stages, you know, what our thoughts are, and then maybe even if some of them are available, might even get some for an interview, some quick little chat. If you all recall at ACL Brisbane, that was when Mafia and Igers started their challenge by a bit of smack talk with each other, so there could be another story that comes out today, but let's not hold out any longer. Let's go actually straight into it. So without further ado, I'm going to go into group number A. And now you'll see that the first one here of the group is already revealed. It's going to be the same. Just to let you guys know a bit of a background about how this is going to work, there's been a change to how the system for groups are. It's purely based on seeds now, so you'll be able to work it out afterwards. But the first four, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are all in in different groups. So our first seed, Betrayus, obviously Zerg, is going to be in Group A. And I might just chuck the music off here, but I don't really think Betrayus needs much of an introduction. He's quite well versed in the scene, and is actually doing quite well. I actually have some statistics here. He's actually in online round 3. He won 83% of his maps, winning 15 maps and only losing 3. And in online round 4, he won 14 maps and dropped 4 at a 78%. So he's been doing excessively well, especially in this SEA scene. So
he's got that dedication, yo.
Yeah. And, I mean, there's not really much we can talk about right now other than introducing his second player, which will be none other than Mega Fonzie.
Hey, Mega Fonzie.
Yeah, actually, now, Mega Fonzie has quite a bit of a story recently coming back. Well, not necessarily coming back. I would say that he's recently come to light in the scene, especially around ACL Brisbane when he qualified for that, and, you know, did relatively well for himself. If I look here, he actually came 9th overall at ACL Brisbane. So what are your thoughts on, I guess, him? Have you played him much, Kez?
Yeah, I played him back in Wall. That was probably about the last time I recall playing him. So, of course, the game's changed a lot since then. But I spoke to him after AvCon, and he wasn't too happy with his games there and his performance there. He felt he could have done a lot better. So I'm sure he'll be training hard and trying to bust out some cool strats for ACL Melbourne.
Yeah. For those of you wondering, he did in online round 3 and 4, he placed 10th and 8th respectively. So
yeah, I recall. He did really well in the ACL qualifiers and the online rounds. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did well here as well. So
yeah, definitely. And he's actually been said to be perhaps maybe the next kind of up and coming Protoss. So he's got a bit of along with Pez and a few others. But
even Pez are the new Protoss hopes of C.
Right. Yes.
I think.
So we'll see. And the third person in Group A will be Petrify.
Petrify.
You know a little bit about Petrify being in this team.
I know a lot about Petrify, man.
What can you say to us about Petrify?
So he's like a really strong up-and-coming Zerg. He kind of bursted onto the scene sort of in the Melbourne lands. He's been doing consistently better and better. And then when he went to ACL Brisbane, he qualified through the open bracket and took down a few kind of pretty solid names. He didn't do as well as he would have liked to have groups, but he also had the group of Death with like Death, Mafia, Igers, all those people. But ever since then, he's been taking down some big names in ZBZ, which is the strongest matchup. So any Zergs will have to be looking at. He actually beat Betrayus in one of the qualifiers for some tournament. I can't remember which one. And he also beat King Kong and a few other really good Zergs. So definitely watch out if there's another Zerg in the group.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty safe to assume that there's going to be a lot of Zergs in this top 16.
Yeah.
So
this is a C tournament after all.
Yeah, we'll see the final one of Group A, I should say. It's not really a number. It is another Zerg, Phoenix. Now, Phoenix actually,
Phoenix.
yeah, actually, I wouldn't say a lot of people might necessarily know a lot about him. He did come in as our 16th seed, so he, he did relatively well. Let's actually have a look at his statistics going into this. Phoenix, he came 18th for online round 3, and he came 30th in the second round, so he didn't really play well. But definitely, when we come around the 15th, 16th range, people, for example, to let you guys know if you're not clear, Light actually, for example, has said he's not coming. There's a few others in the top 16 who, aren't able to come. So all credit to Phoenix being able to be sneaking in there in the last seed, and he would definitely be a dark horse in this group. You'd have to say, wouldn't you, Kez?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not actually too familiar with his play, but dude, this is where people come to get known, man. Like the first my first ACL was where I kind of like burst onto the scene and made my kind of appearance and whatnot. So hopefully Phoenix can do the same, man.
Yeah, so that is the first group revealed. I guess, what are your thoughts? I mean, Petraeus, like we said, apparently cannot watch this live, so maybe not be able to get his thoughts exactly on it. But 3 Zergs and a Protoss, I guess the main thing is look at Megafonzi's PVZ and whether we think that he can, I mean, Petraeus is always going to be a tough bet. I mean, Petrify also very strong. Phoenix maybe have a little bit easier of a time given that we don't necessarily know a lot about him. But in saying that, that could also be to Phoenix's favor that, any kind of style that he has. But what are your thoughts on Megafonzi being able to kind of get out of this Zerg group?
Yeah, that's a really good point you make, actually. With Phoenix, being a bit unknown, if he has a bit of a wonky start, it could take people off guard. But in regards of Megafonzi, if I recall, I think he said PVZ was his favourite matchup, which he kind of has to be playing in Australia and New Zealand and stuff. But I remember him having solid PVZ. So it'll really come down. I think actually a lot of it will come down to who comes in from the open bracket. I feel like this group. There probably will be a strong contender, one of the stronger players from the open bracket coming in here. As Petrify and Megafonzi both are actually really good players, but still probably not quite as dominant as what some of the other groups might be. Of course, there are still three groups left, so we'll have to see about that. But overall, a pretty interesting group actually, especially with the Megafonzi and Petrify dynamic.
Yeah.
And Petraeus, I say, should probably be feeling pretty comfortable to get out of there so far anyway.
And another change this year, or this season, I should say. Is that we're going to be having the top three from each group advance. We're going to an IEM-esque kind of style where we'd have a round of 12, if you will, for the championship bracket. So single limb, the first of each bracket of each group, will go straight into round of 8, and the second and third will make a pool to go into round of 12. I mean, I won't go into all the details. You can look more into it in the structure of things, but that does mean that 3 of these 6 will advance. Now, like you said, we've got 2 open bracket seeds to come through, and for those of you unaware, the likes of Moonglade actually wasn't able to play in any of these qualifiers, and he'll actually be in the open bracket. So there are some very strong open bracket contenders that will be feeding into these groups, so definitely look out for them. But I think Megafonzi has a pretty good shot coming out of this.
Yeah, definitely. No, if it's I forgot about that actually, that it's top 3 instead of top 2 this time. But yeah, no, he's definitely got a decent shot then, and now I'm super excited to see who comes in from the open bracket.
And I mean, Petraeus, always the favourite. If you recall from ACL Brisbane, he actually went 10-0 in his group stage. So
yeah, he monster moded it. I was one of them as well, and he monster moded pretty hard.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that's really all we should talk about, I think, pretty much for Group A. I have told Petraeus about the groups. He can jump on maybe a little bit later if he responds. But we'll go on to Group B because we've got quite a bit to go through. You can obviously start theorying and everything after this event. But Group B, straight off the bat, our second seed is Pig, our Zerg player, who actually is overseas right now. Duking it out. So, that in itself shows that he's got quite a bit of talent on his side, that he's able to, be invited to these international events, and very strong competitor for this group. And I don't really know. Is there anything else really to talk about Pig? He's going to be solid.
He'll be a solid player. Good CVZ, standard, all the rest of it. So,
Awesome. Well, his first opponent in the group will be Pez.
Interesting.
Our second Protoss to be revealed, actually, in this. Now, again, Pez recently joining in teams with you, along with Petrify. So, can you tell us a little bit more about Pez, perhaps, and your thoughts on his play?
Sure. So, Pez is, of course, a Protoss. He's probably the next Protoss Hope of C, along with Mega Fonzie, of course, after Light announced his retirement. So he's a strong player. He used to do a lot of two bases in Wings of Liberty, but now he prefers a very strong sort of three-base macro style. So if there's many other Zergs in this group, he'll be pretty happy. PVZ, he says, is his best matchup, as it probably should be, being in Australia and whatnot. And he says mutas are imbalanced. So that's how he feels about Zerg at the moment.
Well, there you go. Pez definitely is a very strong contender. Even against Pig, that would be a great match in itself. And
actually,
let's have a look. Sorry, go.
Sorry, he came second at for the ACL on round 4, I believe. So definitely.
Yeah, actually, I did forget to quickly look at that. So for online round 3, Pez, where did he come? Pez, he actually got knocked out relatively early in 22nd place. But like you said, online round 4. Got his revenge, went 13-6 in maps won and lost, and ended up coming second and secured himself a pretty nice spot in the top 16. And actually at ACL Brisbane, if I look here, did he actually? Yeah, he came 25th overall. I mean, it's hard when you're in the group stages. Basically, when you're not making groups, it comes down to maps. But he went 7-4 in that. So he'll be looking to get a little bit further, you'd suspect. He's been practicing a lot, I know, and I think he's in a pretty good spot right now. So we'll see. We'll see how he goes against his perhaps third opponent here, which is going to be Iagaz, our first Terran reveal. This group actually proving to be quite strong right now.
Yeah, I'm suddenly very scared.
Yeah, so Iagaz, as we all know, having qualified for IEM Shanghai, he was just over there, and he's probably on his way back now, or maybe in the next couple of days. But very strong, arguably, if not definitely, the top Terran in Australia or right now.
I think you have to say so, yeah. Rossi coming second closely, of course.
Yeah, so, I mean, straight off there, I'm really excited for Pig versus Iagaz. And equally, all three of them versing each other are going to be really good games, or they have the potential to be really good games. I mean, we don't know what kind of games will come out, but, any thoughts on Iagaz? I mean, just, again, another solid player.
Well, I mean, whoever our next player in the group is, better hope they're not a Zerg player, because otherwise they might get stomped. His TVZ is absolutely frightening. When I was watching him play at AvCon, just a few weeks ago, the Adelaide convention, of course, his TVZ didn't look like he would drop a map all tournament. I think he dropped one map to Pet in the grand finals. So, and maybe one more to King Kong. But yeah, so Iagaz will be hoping for another Zerg in this group, definitely. Pig can beat Iagaz, but I would probably say Iagaz is probably favoured in that matchup, as Pig ZVT isn't his strongest matchup, he says. And Pez actually could do okay. Pez is pretty confident in PvT. He takes games off people like Rossi pretty regularly, and I think if I recall, Pez said he felt as comfortable as you can against Iagaz. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, Iagaz actually came 6th in the online round 3, so and he didn't actually play in online round 4, so he still managed to get in there with the points that he earned from that. And as we know from ACL Brisbane, he came 10th overall. So he actually was one of those guys that just missed out on the championship bracket. That was a really brutal in ACL Brisbane. I think at least 2, if not 3 of the 4 groups all were like within 1 or 2 maps. Like with this new system, hopefully that'll allow these players to get a second chance. But Iagaz is definitely looking to be in that championship bracket there. And his final the final player of this top 16 for Pool B will be Stoic Willie.
Willie.
Yes. Now, another Terran player, again, maybe one that doesn't necessarily a lot of... Well, sorry, let me start that again. Maybe a person that maybe a lot of people might not necessarily know a lot about again. He's kind of been quiet, I would say, in terms of the tournament scenes instead of like, these ACL. I haven't actually seen him play at one before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but...
No, he hasn't. No, he's from Melbourne. He's a Melbourne Terran. Recently, our team, Silicon Sports, just picked him up because of his performances at Melbourne Lands and whatnot. We actually think he's got a lot of talent. Just needs to kind of get a bit of tournament experience up. But yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it's always brutal when you're kind of going into that. He actually seeded 15th of the 16th, so again, it's one of those like when you're at the scraping the bottom of the barrel. Sometimes you do get these groups that aren't so friendly to you. But again, this is one of those rare groups where we don't have 3 or 4 Zergs in it. Like, we actually have a nice distribution here. Definitely Stoic Willie would be the underdog of these 4. But like we said, we have 3 advancing from each of the groups, so I'm not going to count him out by any means. I don't actually know how he plays in terms of, his which one's better. I mean, you might be... Does he have a preferred kind of matchup, or...
I'm not actually sure what his preferred matchup is, but I know he's very solid in all matchups. Recently at the last Melbourne LAN, just 2 weeks ago, he actually beat Death in a series 2-1, and then proceeded to lose the next 2 series to Death 2-1, 2-1 as well. So his TVT is actually quite strong. Death only recently just retiring as well, so he's still, of course, very good. So Igers will have to actually watch out for stoically. In ZBT, he's got sick multitasking. A lot of his play revolves around, did revolve around Hellbat drops and other multitasking capabilities, but I frequently lose to him in practice together, so he's obviously average at least average at ZBT, as I'm not the best Zerg against Terran, but he's definitely a very capable player, and people should watch out for him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and for those of you wondering, in case it's not clear, in terms of how the seeding worked into going into this, it was purely from online round 3 and 4, so any results from season 1 with ACL Brisbane for this don't count. For the finals in Sydney, they will count, but looking at it, he actually did manage to get enough points to make the top 16, as we can say. So, like saying in chat here, there is going to be a lot of talent coming in the open bracket. So consider this as like the start of things. There's still going to be a lot of competition to come through the open bracket and feed into these groups. So definitely looking forward to that.
Exactly.
Now, Pig, overseas right now, probably won't be able to get him on, and Igers as well. Actually, a lot of talent here interstate. So we'll jump straight into Group C here and go from there. So Group C, we'll start with King Kong as our third seed, which will be the first person in this group. Again, actually, the top 3 being Zerg, which doesn't necessarily surprise me at all.
No, I can't say that I am either.
And so King Kong, despite spending a lot of time, studying and maybe not practicing as much as he wants to, he still has that ability to just crush through and manage to make these qualifiers. We saw him in the Masters Cup yesterday, actually, making it quite far deep. So very strong, and he actually did take out ACL Brisbane, for those of you who remember.
Defending champion.
Yeah, defending champion against Pig. So King Kong very strong. Whoever faces him will have a tough time on their hands, but there's not going to be an Igers King Kong rematch in the group stage at this point. Maybe in the finals, but one of my personal favourite matchups between two players. They always have close ones, but alas, not the case. Let's see who his first opponent is going to be. It is going to be none other than Fenner.
Fenner.
Yes, so Fenner actually jumping in there in the second spot for Group C, or Pool C, I should say. So. Yep. Again, two very strong Zergs. ZVZ very volatile, so it's often very hard with similar like Zergs with very similar skills to be able to really say who's necessarily going to come out on top. But with a best of 3, it should be. I'm thinking it would be a 2-1 between them. I don't think it would be necessarily a whitewash by any means.
No, I don't think so. Fenner's obviously very good at ZVZ, so King Kong will have his work cut out for him there. But Pig will actually be thanking his lucky stars that he didn't hit King Kong, as Pig just can't seem to beat King Kong. It seems he has his number, but so far pretty interesting group.
Yeah, there you go. His third player in this group will be ours, which is a Protoss player. Now, again, it seems like each of these groups has maybe somebody who isn't as well known as the other kind of the king hitters. So, do you know much about his play?
Ours just types in chat, "No King Kong, please," and then he gets King Kong. So ours is actually joining the Silicon Sports Academy, which is our little sort of training thing. He's from the team EMP, or the clan rather, I think you'd probably call it. But yeah, no, he's a strong Protoss player. I think if I recall, he actually defeated somebody pretty noticeable in the qualifiers for this. So yeah, he's just a new mid-tier Protoss that's trying to come up in the ranks, and ACL will be a good chance for him to do it, man.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, these ACLs are definitely an opportunity for perhaps the people that they might not necessarily in the end make it to, I'm not saying this is the case for ours, but in some cases, it is that platform where even if you don't make the championship bracket, if you can show some really good games on stream or in the group stages when you're up and coming, it often can be both a good boost to your kind of personal mentality of how you're playing, but also get some exposure for yourself. And I mean, the prime example is NXZ. He was playing really, really well going into ACL Brisbane, and then kind of just topped it off there, playing exceptionally well, making top 8 and even top 4. And then,
top 4. Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then and you can see where it goes from there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he plays. Again, an opportunity for him to show show us what he has. And again, we'll see who his fourth player is. Oops, that's the wrong one. It's going to be Kez!
I had a feeling it was me.
I dropped the wrong overlay, but there you go. Kez, as you can see, you are now in the Group C, playing against King Kong, Fenner, and Ours. What are your thoughts?
So King Kong, I haven't beaten in a while, but I used to kind of take games off him every now and then. Fenner and I are pretty evenly matched. In terms of recent results in tournaments, I'm pretty sure, so that'll be really hard. And then ours actually haven't played against yet, so we'll see how that goes. But a lot of Zergs, so I've got my best matchup mostly, so that's kind of good, I guess. So I'll have to get that 9 pool ready.
that field 9 pool, it'll come up on the SE2. So on the ACL podcast, you'll just be talking about it for weeks. But yeah, look, I don't think it's no easy group, but equally it's a good opportunity for you.
Yeah, I think we'll get a lot of I think we'll get strong people from the open bracket in this group.
Yeah.
Fenner and myself are both kind of known players and pretty decent, but we're no monsters of the scene. So I think we'll get some pretty tough competition coming into our groups.
Yeah. And I guess that if you could have, looking at it like in these two open brackets, you can see here you've got 2 Zergs and another Protoss. Would you be wanting a Terran, or would you be wanting more Zergs or Protoss? Like ideal world, don't have to name names, but you know what?
Personally, I prefer Zergs, just because ZVZ is my best matchup. And I think the other two would probably prefer Zergs as well, except King Kong might prefer more Terrans, but I'm not actually sure about that. But I honestly, I think we'll probably get a Moonglade or somebody in this group, or somebody like a Jazzbass maybe, as Jazz likes kind of ZVZ and he likes his CVP as well. So yeah, only time will tell, man. I mean, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, and of course, top 3 advanced, so you're definitely in with a better chance than ACL Brisbane. So Petraeus just let me know that he's available for an interview. We'll jump onto him after we finish the 4 groups, and we might see if we can get somebody from each of the groups. But that does tie out Pool C. And leaves 1 remaining. So for those of you who perhaps know a little bit about the top 16, you might have an idea about what this final top 4 is going to look like. But the first play is going to be Ninja, who is our 4th seed. Again, top 4 will be Zerg for the qualifiers. And so Ninja, again, another one, needs little to no introduction. A young superstar coming up. And yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
He pretty much, if we look here at the Brisbane land, he actually came 14th overall. He wasn't able to make it out of groups, but he did make it he was very close to moving out. He had a tough group. He had a very tough group, yeah. And during the actual online rounds phase, he came 2nd in online round 3, and if we look here, he came 14th in online round 4. So some strong performances. Definitely one to look out for, and his first opponents will be Rossi.
There you go, big Ross dog.
Our 3rd Terran of these top 16. So Rossi, again, very, very close to Igers in terms of skill. Like when you're looking at like the top Terrans, Rossi and Igers often trading blows with each other, and Rossi's been one of those guys that's been so close so many times to being able to represent Australia internationally, and even with IEM, just fell short. So if he can make it with ACL Melbourne, I'm sure that'd be a really important kick of I guess a boost of mentality. Like it'd be good to get like another win under his belt. So Rossi and Ninja, two very strong players. What are your thoughts on the 2?
Yeah, Rossi's kind of the gateway keeper into the top maybe 5 or so players of C. He hasn't actually won really a big event. His biggest performance is probably coming 2nd at ACL Brisbane back in 2012. Actually, he lost there to Moonglade. But other than that, he's always a solid top 4, top 5 in every sort of tournament. Even coming 3rd, of course, the most recent IEM Shanghai qualifiers. Actually defeating Ninja there 2-1 or 2-0, I believe. So he's definitely a very strong player. He has good TVZ, but he's also pretty well-rounded in TVT and TVP as well. So as long as so I'm sure he'll do pretty well in this group. As I don't think there's any big names left other than, of course, the open bracket players. So I'm sure Russell will be pretty happy with this group so far.
Yeah. And Rossi, actually looking at the online round 3, came 7th and 6th respectively. But do note that in all these cases where we are quoting like these kind of around the 6th, 7th, 8th, in a lot of cases they did actually they forfeited because, as we all know, you know, double elimination bracket, when you're talking about 40 to 50, if not maybe even sometimes we went up to 60 or 70 players in them, quite a large bottleneck, and if you get knocked down to lower bracket, there is quite a bit of a wait, and you know, sometimes real life happened and they had to kind of forfeit or everything like that.
I think a lot of it was they just didn't want to show strats, actually. But
yeah, like that as well. You know, like if you know a lot of these professional Starcraft players know, like, okay, I've made it to top 16. I don't necessarily mind too much if I'm in the lower or upper half of it. As long as I'm qualified, I'm okay. So again, take that all into consideration when looking at where they finished. But alas, in this is none other than Pulse, who is another Zerg player.
Yes. ACL.
Yeah, he actually seeded. Let me just quickly look here. He seeded a 12th overall in this, and you know, again, a good opportunity for Pulse to really show us what he has and why he should be in the top 16. And have you really played Pulse much or have much information about him?
I've played him actually maybe 5 or 6 times in the last few qualifiers. I always seem to hit him. He's a pretty strong Zerg player. He's got a bit of a wonky style. Like he plays very aggressively, like a lot of Lings and Bailings. But yeah, he's a strong player, and I've been noticing him coming up in tournaments recently. Just his name kind of always pops up in that top, you know, top 16 to top 20 sort of play range. So yeah, he's got a few steps to go before you know he cracks into the top, you know, top 12, top 16. But maybe he can do it here.
Maybe. And chat, you are very smart indeed. The 4th and final player is indeed Chobo Sniper, who managed to, I must say, commendable name there. I'm not sure if he'll be able to snipe anything in here. There's not really any Chobos in here, but we'll see. Another Zerg, so it does mean it's 3 Zergs and 1 Terran in this group. But Chobo Sniper, again, another opportunity for him to show us what he has. And I know there's a few people that are excited to see him in a top 16.
Yeah, man, Chobo's a great guy. He's from Melbourne as well. Another Melbourne Zerg representing. So yeah, we'll have to see how he goes.
Yeah. And, you know, Rossi, he's been well known for his TVZs and kind of having that back and forth and being really putting on some great shows. So what are your thoughts? You know, obviously Ninja, quite a powerful opponent there, but maybe a little bit more of a chance to knock off Pulse and Chobo Sniper, you feel?
Yeah, definitely. I feel Ninja and Rossi are pretty quite heavily the favourites in this group. But you know, stranger things have happened, and of course, I think 2 strong players will come into the open bracket into this group as well. So I think that'll be very interesting to see who goes through. But as it is top 3, so we'll have to see. But I'd love to see Ninja and Rossi. Actually, that'd be a great series, I think. Yeah,
definitely. Well, that does round out, you know, the revealing stage of things. We are actually going to maybe try and jump into some interviews. We've got Betrayus here. I'll see if I can grab him in to talk about Group A. So let me just jump him into the call.
Sure.
Add people to the call. Betrayus, and see what dedication can say to us. All right. So we'll see how long it takes to pick up, but yeah, as you can see in chat, you are actually timing out. So just to recap, we've got Betrayus, Mega Fonzie, Petrify, and Phoenix in Group A. Group B, we have Pig, Kez, Igers, Stoic Willy. Group C, King Kong, Fenner, Oz, Kez. Group D, Ninja, Rossi, Pulse, Chobo Sniper. So we do have 10 Zergs, 3 Terrans, and 3 Protosses in the top 16.
Sounds about right.
And Rossi actually, unfortunately, is unavailable. I think the open bracket should just be Zerg symbol.
I saw that. That was fucking good. That was bloody good.
There is...
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, Betrayus. How are you?
Hey, good.
Good. Now, I hear you've been told what your group is. Mega Fonzie, Petrify, and Phoenix. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's pretty good group. I don't see how I wouldn't advance from that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. All the groups seem pretty balanced, like, to me. So it's good.
Are you afraid that you'll have have the title of the real pet taken away from you. Actually, Petrify owns the title of real pet, so are you going to hope to get that back from him?
Well, he did give it back to me after AvCon.
Oh, of course.
By word of mouth, but yeah, hopefully I can win it back the real way.
The real way?
Yep.
That's good, that's good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, like we were saying, I mean, there's going to be a lot of open bracket people like Moonglade and all that coming through. Like, is there anyone that you, like, if you could choose, do you want more Zergs in your group or a Terran or more Protoss? Like, what ideally would you be looking at?
Not a Zerg. I think Zergs are the easiest to lose to. Even though my ZVZ's alright, I prefer to play Protoss or Terran, to be honest. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Also,
cool.
the Zergs tend to be the stronger players, but yeah.
I don't know. Well, any final words there? Like, do you want to like start any kind of like? I know obviously both Betrayus and Petrify in the same group. Pet v Pet is going to happen. Are there any other kind of any kind of like? I guess if you could meet anyone in the final stage, or is there anyone you want to get revenge on, or are you just kind of just playing your?
I guess.
You want to play? I guess.
He's going down.
Oh, all right. So we've got
Get that orange ready, man. Get that orange ready.
Betrayus and Igos.
Get that dedication.
We'll have to maybe set up some sort of idea of like who wants whose blood and.
Yep.
But good work, man. I actually know that you just recently got brand new internet and you've been streaming a lot more. So definitely, if anyone wants to see a bit of Betrayus.
All right, hang on a second. How did you get banned, Betrayus?
How did I what?
How did you get banned from Twitch?
Oh, I don't know. I actually have no idea. I just looked today and I was banned and I can't watch anything.
Oh,
I didn't do anything, like, I didn't
How you sign out of your
post
account?
nudity or...
That's right.
Did
Well,
you-
I don't know.
we probably should keep on track just in
Yeah,
the interest of
definitely,
time.
sorry.
But it is an interesting story. If you do want to find out more about
It
the
is.
Betrayer story, do definitely talk to him after this stream. But we'll shoot things off through and then maybe look at the other group. So thanks, Betrayers, for jumping on
Yeah,
and having a chat with us, and I'm sure we'll speak with you soon.
Alright, see ya.
See you, mates. All right, we're gonna get Rossi in here now.
Big Rostock.
Yeah.
Big cock.
I'll tell you in chat. All right, so let's get Rossi in here. Now, what group is Rossi in? He's in D. Yes.
Loves the D. Good D.
Yo,
Hey, Rossi, what's going on?
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
No, I can't. What? Is he here or?
Yes.
I'm
Good
just-
troll, good
sorry.
troll. So, Rossi, I know you actually don't necessarily know your group. So you've got Ninja, Pulse, and Chobo Sniper.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool group, right? So you got 3 Zergs with you. Now Ninja, obviously, quite a strong opponent. Now Pulse and Chobo Sniper, have you played them much?
No, I don't even know what races they are,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
so they're both Zergs. So you're going to be versing at least 3 Zergs in your group, which is probably something you're very familiar with. How's your TVZ right now?
Yeah, TVZ. Versus like the tip top and see it's not amazing, but I feel like really safe first cheese and shit, so definitely very confident versus Ninja. I think I'm 6-0 versus him recently.
Nice.
So, no, yeah, that's a very good group. I was expecting worse, but I'm happy with that for sure.
Well,
How
there
much
you
you
go.
gonna pay Moonglade not to go into your group?
Yeah, Moonglade. I don't. He hasn't been playing too much lately, and I've been practicing with him. So, like,
Yeah,
we know each other's styles pretty well. So it would be a good match if we played.
for sure.
And then if you recall, we've got the top 3 from each group advancing, and we'll have like a more of a kind of a single-limb based finals. Is there anyone you'd love to hit in the finals, or maybe you have your eye on wanting to get revenge on, or something like that? We had Betrayus put a flag on Igers, so is there anyone that you want to hit?
Anyone I want to hit?
In game.
Not in real life. but-
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people I want to hit, and a lot of people I want to hit. I wish Light was coming because I would normally say him,
Yeah.
but at the moment I don't really have any rivalries with anyone. Like I don't really want to verse King Kong or Pet. Other than that, pretty happy to verse anyone. Well, I'm still pretty happy to verse those guys too, but
Yeah.
the scene seems at the tip top. There's not as many guys around anymore, so I'm pretty happy to play anyone.
Yeah, without Tigo and Light, does seem to be a bit thinned out, and Mafia as well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So you'd be feeling pretty confident then, getting up high in the groups and then into the finals?
Yeah, well, I'd ideally like to take first in that group because then that'll put me into the round of 8 or something.
Yep,
Is that
that's
how
right.
it works?
Yep, that's
yeah.
right.
So the goal is undefeated through my group. Get into that top 8 and
Get
yeah,
these
happy to
sports
play
stars.
anybody after that. Get into that cash money.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for quickly jumping in, and I'm sure we'll find out more about how you play and everything, obviously, as ACL Melbourne comes around. But look forward to seeing you in the flesh, and all the best with your practice up until then.
Cheers. Always good fun. See you, boys.
Yeah, mate.
All right, so let's.
Is that it, or we got?
No,
anybody else?
we've got Fenner coming in for his group.
Big Fen dog.
Yeah, I'll grab him in now, Mr.
Can't wait
Fenner.
to hear that English accent.
Yeah. Now Fenner is actually in Group C. There we go. Fenner,
Hey.
how are you going?
I'm going pretty good, man. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Now your group, King Kong, ours, and Kez. Now Kez is in this group, so be careful what you say to each other. It could be some smack talk. But how are your thoughts on this group for you?
Coming for you.
Well, obviously King Kong's there, and even though he's not practicing, he's still got that Korean blood running through his veins.
He's still got the genes, yeah.
Yeah. So King Kong's pretty scary, but the other two I'm not too scared of. I'm pretty confident versus ours. I don't really know who he is. So we'll see how that goes. Like, I don't want to underestimate anyone either. Like, even though I don't know who he is, he can still be a really good player, right? And Kez, I think I can beat Kez, like, as long as I can hold his 9 pull, it should be pretty easy.
Hey, pretty sure you 10 pulled me 3 games in a row as well, man. Last time I played you. So
Yeah, but-
let's see if you can...
I'm changing my ways, man. There's no more
Oh,
9
yeah?
pulls coming from me.
Oh, there you go. You had it here.
I've heard that before, man.
It's he's going to shark you. He's going to shark you. But I guess as we've kind of been the flavour of this, open bracket's going to be very strong. Is there anyone you'd particularly want to hit, or maybe a race you'd like? Do you like playing ZVZ at the moment, or what is your ideal final 2?
It's only going to be Zergs coming from the open bracket, right? So there's not much choice there.
Is Hut coming down for this?
Yeah, he confirmed that he was.
Yeah, Hut, actually.
Yeah, so there's... Yeah, I think it's
play
Hut and then 7 Zergs in the open bracket if I can...
I think, honestly, like, I'd just rather have Zergs come into the group, then I can just practice CVZ
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not worry too much about ours.
awesome. And top 3 from each group advancing. I suspect you'd be wanting to hit the top of your group so you can go straight into round of 8. I guess what are your thoughts in terms of missing people or wanting to hit certain people in the championship round? Is there anyone that you particularly think you are very strong against, or that you would rather not hit until the finals?
I don't want to hit Pig. I don't like playing Pig because he plays so cheesy. Ninja Rossi, like anyone but Pig, I guess. Oh, Igers as well. So Pig, Igers, I don't want to hit those, but the rest I'm pretty happy to hit.
All right, awesome. Well, any final thoughts or going into ACL Melbourne? Actually, I can let you guys know in stream that we actually have like over 50 registrations for Starcraft, so it's going to be pretty packed for the open
Nice.
bracket. Any final thoughts going into ACL Melbourne?
Don't 9 pull, Kez. That's all.
It's coming, man. It's coming for you.
That could be quite the game. So if we ever want to keep like our stream up and we want to have a quick 2-minute game, we'll just grab you guys on. So, but
Yeah.
thank you for jumping on, and we'll obviously see you at ACL Melbourne. And in the meantime,
Yeah.
all the best for your preparation.
Thanks. No worries. See you guys.
Thanks, Marcia.
All right, and that leaves the only group that we don't have representation is Group B, because Pig's overseas right now. Igers is overseas. Pez, I don't have him online, and Stoic Willie I don't actually have on Skype. So unfortunately we can't necessarily get an interview for one of these players. But as we said, a very, very strong lineup. It's going to be definitely a pool to kind of look for in. I think it would be one of those ones where perhaps the open bracket seeds. Well, actually, it's very evenly distributed, so I'm not sure how the open brackets are going to feed into it, because, you can't really say, oh, there's 3 Zergs in this, I'm really favoured versus Zerg, I'm going to go into this group. It's like, well, there's quite a big mix, so... Group of death, some people are saying.
In every group, there's kind of 2 really strong players, and then kind of a third and fourth relatively even player. So that fight for third spot is actually going to be really interesting. I really like the added dynamic of it that it brings. Kind of, I think it's a lot more forgiving than top two, of course. So that's good. So that's good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that does wrap it up for the reveal. So I will be putting this graphic up on both the page on SC2SCA, and we'll chuck it up on the website as well. This will be going onto YouTube. For those of you who either missed part of it or want to relive it, or see part of it, maybe the interviews and all that fun stuff. ACL Melbourne, it's going to be really exciting. For those of you who came last year, you would have known that it was definitely one of the larger open brackets. So as I already said, we're looking at 50 plus already, and we're a couple weeks out still. So really looking forward to that. For those of you who aren't aware, we actually are doing a slightly different open bracket. So instead of one big double elimination bracket, we are doing 4 separate brackets that are going at the same time. All this kind of structural details you can look on the website for. That will explain it in more detail. And then if you have any further questions, you can ask any of the ACL staff, and they'll direct you in the right way. But it's nice and quick for you guys. I guess there's not really any need for any chat questions. It's pretty straightforward. So, Kez, is there any final words or any thoughts that you think need to go through?
No, I think that's it. I'm super excited. It's only about a week and a half away now. So
it will be the 10th and 11th of August.
And it's about time I start practicing, I think, now that I know who I have to prepare for. So I'm super excited. I'm sure all the others will be as well. And calling it now, top 3 will be Moonglade, Igers, and Petraeus, I think. And I think Igers will take this one as well, actually.
Oh, there you go.
As long as he gets 6. As long as he gets 6.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in live, and for those who evidently watch this on YouTube, you'll be able to see all of us, all the players and everything, come down to ACL Melbourne. I will actually quickly chuck up ACL Pro. I'll give you a link straight to the website. That's where you'll have most of the information. For those of you watching it on YouTube, we'll have it in the description below. So you can see here as I quickly get the info here. There you go. There is a link to where you can find all the information. It will be at the Union Hall, La Trobe University on College Drive in Melbourne on the 10th and 11th of August. There's going to be $10,000 overall. There are 3 titles, but for Starcraft 2...
So much esports money.
Yeah, so much real money. For StarCraft 2, we're going to have a $2,500 prize pool, assuming that we get 50 players, which we have. So we'll be getting $2,500 for the top players of Australia. So look forward to that, and please do come and support if you are in Melbourne.
Do it.
We would love to see you guys, and we'll see you there. So we'll sign out here, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Hi guys, if you don't, you kill any sports. Get down and watch. Bring your friends and family.